Good evening. I'm Ali Rogan. John Yang is away. The war in Ukraine has taken center stage at the Munich Security Conference as the Trump administration's lead Ukraine envoy said today there are no plans for Europeans to be included in any talks to end the war. On the sidelines of the conference, the Republican chairman of the House Foreign Affairs Committee said that National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and Middle East envoy Steve Witkoff will travel to Saudi Arabia in the coming days to begin the negotiations with Ukrainian and Russian officials. Earlier, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky suggested in Munich that the days of the U.S. defending Europe may be over. Our foreign affairs and defense correspondent Nick Schifrin spoke with Zelensky's chief of staff, Andriy Yermak, and asked him what message he has for Europe and the United States.
First of all, I think that President Zelensky bring the hope that just a new reality, Europe have to be united, Europe have to be strong.
Is that because the U.S. isn't a reliable partner?
In the life, it's necessary to be ready for everything. And if you ask my opinion, I think that new administration, President Trump, he want to be strong leaders and be with the Europe. Ukraine, it's a part of the Europe. Ukraine is a future member of the European Union. And we need to be ready for any challenges.
What message did you receive from Vice President Vance? Did he commit to providing you security guarantees and negotiating with you rather than over you?
First of all, we received this message directly from President Trump, and we received from Vice President and other American officials. Commitment to continue to support Ukraine, understanding what is this war, and political will to end this war by just and lasting peace. President was very clear. Any plans which will be not prepared with Ukraine, we can't accept.
But did Vice President Vance commit to providing security guarantees and negotiating with you?
Look, he's understand it, and nobody can say, yes, exactly these security guarantees. We definitely know that this security guarantee have to be effective, strong, and real.
And it has to include the United States.
Absolutely. And the people recognized that this president, it's impossible that he's accepted something which will be against Ukrainian interests, which will be against the principles of our independence, sovereignty, and territorial integrity.
But Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth this week suggested that Ukraine could not recapture all occupied territory. We've heard different messages from different U.S. officials. What's the impact on Ukraine on those mixed messages?
Of course, sometimes, as many people, you have the questions when you listen some not clear understanding messages. But our president, a very smart person and very honest person, and there his relation with President Trump, it's personal relations, very good, very honest.
Officials tell me that the U.S. has offered a deal to Ukraine in which the U.S. would own 50% of Ukraine's rare earths, and that Kyiv has rejected that offer. Why?
I can say that for this moment, we have not signed any documents. In the United States, it's our biggest strategic partners. We want to be in strategic partners for long period of time. We want that in Ukraine will be a lot of American investments, including of development of our strategic minerals, strategic area of our industry like energy and others. Our partners and friends understand our positions. We will continue. It's not be any pause.
So it sounds like you're saying you haven't rejected anything, your negotiations continue.
Negotiation continue.
President Zelensky today confirmed, I think for the first time, that Ukraine had lost more than 4,000 square kilometers. That's more than 1,500 square miles this year. How difficult is the front line, and is Ukraine continuing to lose territory?
Of course, the difficult situation. War is continue. I think it's time to be together, to be strong. And as I said, President yesterday to Vice President, we don't need and we want that United States will be between us and Russia. We want that United States will be in our side. And this is not because just it's side of international law, it's side of true, and it's side of good.
Under your mock, thank you very much.
Thank you.